What is the one you are most looking forward to hearing the answer to in the next few hours tonight?
Shedeur Sanders. He's really the talk of the draft. He's my number one quarterback. He was outstanding for 2 years at Colorado without getting a lot of help. Couldn't run the football, couldn't protect him, and he was accurate. He held up from a durability standpoint. He did it with NFL conditions around him. I love Shedeur. Perfect fit. Perfect fit is the New Orleans Saints at pick number 9. Because it's that 2 and 3, you're getting the best players in the draft. And Travis Hunter, Cleveland, maybe Abdul Carter, Giants. But at 9, fifth best player on the board, quarterback they need, division with the number 1 pick overall Bryce, number 1 pick overall Baker, Michael Penix Jr. In the dome, Shedeur would be ideal. Perfect for the New Orleans Saints.
I get it. The arm talent is undeniable. I understand that. He can be creative. He can escape. He can do things that Shedeur can't do. But if Shedeur gets an offensive line in front of him, the exact same thing I said about Tom Brady when he came out as a 6th-round pick after Giovanni Carmazzi from Hofstra went in the 3rd round because he was more athletic and more talented physically, athletically. Saw what happened there. When you look at Shedeur Sanders, everything you want an NFL quarterback to be, he has. Toughness in the pocket, unflappable. Final 2 minutes of a game. Look at the precise, accurate passing, short, intermediate, deep. He does all that. He was sacked a lot, right? So he's got to get the ball out a tick faster. He didn't have any help. The offensive line, blown block after blown block. Ole block after Ole block. He had no chance. He had to try to make plays, and he did. Guess what? Completion was kind of through the roof. Not many balls hit the ground. What he needed to come through for this team, he did. This notion that he's not that athletic is ridiculous nonsense. He can move. He can roll right, roll left. 3rd and 8, he can get you a first down with his legs. This kid has what the NFL wants. Talk about conditions in the NFL. Muddy pocket, right? Pressure all the time. No running game. His leading rusher over the 2 years of Colorado averaged 350 yards for the season. That's it. That's Ashton Jinty and Amarian Hampton in a game and a half. Are you kidding me? No running game, no offensive line to put up the numbers he did. He, to me, deserved to be. And I think I understand Cam Ward. You want a 6'3", 230-pounder. You want a guy with a rocket arm. You want a guy with 4.6 speed. It's not Shedeur Sanders. Cam Ward, stronger arm, more talent. I get it. But I'm telling you, Shedeur Sanders, old school, pocket, you can win big in this league. It's been proven time and time again.
The Broncos are on the clock at number 20, and right now it's time for a look at Mel's best available, brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott.
Yeah, he got some good ones. Shedeur, I'm amazed right now that he's still on the board, as I was with Aaron Rodgers. New Orleans, hey, I'm going to wait and see who makes a move to get Shedeur Sanders before I start talking about those organizations that will haunt them. Will Derrick Harmon, how do you feel about Shedeur at 21? I have him at 5. This organization has not had won a playoff game in 9 years. They haven't had any losing seasons in a long time, but 21, they haven't won a playoff game in 9 years. In this division, with Burrow and Lamar and the AFC loaded with great quarterbacks, and you have Mason Rudolph, and there's Shedeur sitting there, and you have no 2nd-round pick. Where's the young quarterback coming in? But I'm taking Shedeur Sanders. I prefer him in New Orleans. I don't know what the Saints were thinking there. That's their decision. I disagree with it. But if I'm Pittsburgh, Shedeur Sanders, the pass on him at this stage at pick 21, Boog, come on.
I'm told that the pick is in. The commissioner is making his way to the stage. Will this be the moment that we hear the second quarterback's name, or will the drop continue? Here comes Roger Goodell with the announcement.
With the 21st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Derrick Harmon, defensive tackle, Oregon.
You can hear the roar in this crowd. That is the surprise of many, and it is echoed on this stage. Let's talk about Derrick Harmon. The young man can rush the passer from the interior of that D-line. Led all defensive tackles and quarterback pressures with 34. Mel, he was fabulous at the Combine. He's from Detroit. Started his career at Michigan State. Had 1 season at Oregon.
He had a really good season because he did something at Oregon that he didn't do at Michigan State, was compete and can be consistent on a game-to-game basis. He really, this year, took his game from a competitive standpoint to a new level. I know that Michigan State kept waiting for it to really hit home and really develop into that kind of player that talent indicated he could be. And this year, he did it. He was disruptive. He got in the backfield. He hit Quinshon Judkins in that game on October 12th, caused that fumble when Ohio State had all the momentum. You watch him, guys. He can get into the backfield. Plays a little high, but he is a guy can learn from Cam Hayward. Talk about that. Will they weigh that position, that need, and having a guy that can be maybe the heir apparent to Cam Hayward against the quarterback Shedeur Sanders? They opted for Derrick. 27th in per carry average allowed last year.
There isn't any question, however, this has become now the story of the night. Shedeur Sanders, according to our draft day predictor, there was a 96% chance that he would be selected in the first 21 picks entering this draft, 21 being the operative number with the Steelers. So we are now in that zone where we wait to see if any team chooses to trade up from the second round to make the aggressive move.
We always act like we're in the 6th round of the draft right now, and Shedeur Sanders hasn't been picked. No. And we're still where Lamar Jackson wasn't taken. And last time I checked, the Baltimore Ravens took Hayden Hurst, a 25-year-old tight end at the time, out of South Carolina, tight end. And then they traded back into 32 to take Lamar Jackson. We're ready to pack it up at the end of day 1 and get ready for day 2, right? There's Lamar Jackson. That list of the pocket pass. Johnny Unitas, cut by the Steelers, passed over, right? Nobody wanted. Dan Marino passed over for Cal Davis and Ken O'Brien, right? Joe Montana went in the 3rd round. Kurt Warner, undrafted free agent. Peyton Manning, people have to think like Ryan Leaf over and took Phil Foley to take him number 1 overall. Matt Ryan. Jake Long went ahead of Matt Ryan. They took him so far, something for Ken Henny over Matt Ryan. Pocket guy. How'd that work out, right? Drew Brees, 2nd round. Chargers, then Miami didn't take him. Goes to New Orleans, right? How'd that work out? Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. Kirk Cousins, 4th round pick. They're all traditional drop back pocket passers. I didn't mention the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, 6th round pick. But just think about that list. The NFL didn't like him back when Johnny Unitas came out of Louisville. They didn't like him now. It can burn 9 out of 10 times by passing on these guys. But I don't know if it's...
With the 25th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Jaxon Dart, Mississippi.
Wow. All right. You know the story. Legendary high school career in Utah, threw for 67 touchdowns. As a senior, he went to USC, started 3 games, then transferred to Ole Miss. Started 38 games for Lane Kiffin, threw 72 touchdowns, finished as the school's all-time leading passer, surpassing Eli Manning. Mel, your reaction?
Well, surprised he went ahead of Shedeur, not shocked, because Daboll wants some more mobility. And Jaxon Dart can beat a defense with his legs. His completion percentage every year under Lane Kiffin improved. 62%, 65%, culminated with 69% this past year. Touchdowns went 20 to 23, 29 this past year. 11 rushing touchdowns the last 2 years. 1,500 rushing yards the last 3 years at Ole Miss. Now, the concern for me, and the reason I'm the Shedeur guy, is in the big spots. Do you come up big? For Jaxon Dart, 2 games where Ole Miss faced a then-ranked opponent, LSU and Georgia, he completed less than 60% of his passes, and in each game combined for 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. And then they were looking for a playoff spot late November. He completed less than 60% of his passes with a couple touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and that late meltdown against Florida. So 3 big spots didn't come up big. Shedeur consistently did, despite being harassed. I like Jaxon Dart. I love Shedeur. We'll see how it works out. And keep in mind, the quarterbacks that have dropped a little bit, how about the quarterbacks went ahead of them? Brett Favre, Dan McGuire, Todd Marinovich went ahead of Brett Favre. Joe Montana, Jack Thompson, Steve Fuller went ahead of Joe Montana. E.J. Manuel went ahead of Geno Smith, and 3 players were drafted by the Bengals before they took Boomer Esiason in the 2nd round. So it doesn't always go. The quarterbacks go in the order or the way they work out in the NFL. So for Shedeur, I still believe, I'm going to say it till I'm proven wrong after this, the New Orleans Saints are the perfect fit. Because Pittsburgh's weather, right? The Giants are weather, and the division's weather. And for Shedeur, like Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, that dome would help him so much and give him a chance to have the great career that he's certainly capable of.
I think